Hey everyone, it's Kabir here. So in last session we saw some concepts in the Bootstrap. So today we are going to understand many more concepts in the Bootstrap. So today we are going to understand something like a breadcrumb. What is breadcrumb? Then we are going to understand about list group, and we are going to understand about the forms. So how can we create some forms like registration forms, login, all that, and what classes has been provided by the Bootstrap. So that things we are going to cover in this session, guys. So let us understand each and everything step by step. So today I'm going to create one more file known as 07. So this time I'm going to say it has a breadcrumb.html. So already we know that we have created the skeleton. So let me enter. Okay, the file has been created. So we have a skeleton for the Bootstrap. So I'm just going to copy it. Just copy, come to here and just paste here. Okay, fine. We have pasted. Now I wanted to create something like a breadcrumb. So what is breadcrumb? Let us see. So here I'm taking a div class equals to something like container. Now it is going to create one container. So I hope you guys know the concept of container. So I took the container. Now in this container, what I wanted to give some margin from the top. So I'm saying margin something like 3. Okay, fine. Now here I wanted to take one div. Okay, now I will say class equals to breadcrumb. So I have took this class, or else let me remove this one. So already we took the div. So what I will do, I will take OL. Now in this OL, I'm going to take some kind of list. So I will be taking like item 1. Then in the same way, let me take more list. So just paste, enter, paste, enter, paste. Now let me make it as a 2, make it as a 3, and it as a 4. Now if I'm going to execute this particular page, now this is what you are going to see in the browser, like list 1, 2, 3, 4, which is your list groups, like order list. Okay, fine. Now I wanted to use breadcrumb class. So for OL, I'm saying class equals to breadcrumb. Okay, this is the class, right? In the same way, we have one more class called breadcrumb item. So for that, we are going to say class equals to breadcrumb item hyphen item. Now these are the two classes, guys, right? Now I'm going to paste it. Now just see how it is going to look like. So I'm commenting this particular things. Now save it and come here and just refresh it. Now this is by default you're going to get some stylings here, guys, right? Some kind of box you got and some gray color, background color, and your item. Now just suppose I'm going to uncomment these things. Now in the same way, I'm going to paste this for every list item. So here for this as well, for this as well, and for this as well. Now just going to see how it is going to look like. Now this is how you got some default stylings you got. So mainly we use this breadcrumb for giving the navigation bar. We wanted to give some item of some list of items, right? Now you wanted to make it as a link. So what we can do, just instead of here, I'm gonna say yeah, href equals to hash, and I'm gonna close here, and a will be closing something like here. So let me make it as okay, fine, remove, and I will be saying /a. Fine. Now we made this item as a link. In the same way, every item I wanted to make a link. So just I'm going to copy and just paste here. So this time it will be item 2. And in the same way, let me paste here as well. So it will be item 3. Now let me paste this one here. It will be item 4. Fine. Now save it, and now just come here and just see how it is going to look like. Now this is how it is looking like. So this is how we use the breadcrumb, and by default you guys are getting these stylings. Right now you wanted to change the slash, right? Instead of the slash you wanted to give some other kind of symbol, like you wanted to give star or hash something. Okay, now this is given this is given by Bootstrap by default. Now you wanted to change this, so first of all you need to find, so how we can find what code they have wrote. So just do one thing, just keep the cursor near your Bootstrap CSS, right? Control and click this particular thing. So we got all the Bootstrap classes they have provided us. These are all the Bootstrap classes they have provided us. Now we wanted to find breadcrumb, right? So just Control F. Yes, Control F, you are going to get something like here. So just search breadcrumb item. Okay guys, once you have just to end, so you got all these things. Now you are able to see something like content here, right? Now just copy this thing from here. Okay, we have copied, and let comes to our file and just say here, take a style tag inside your, take a style tag inside your head. So I'm gonna take something like here, style tag. So we have took the style tag inside style, just I'm gonna paste it. Okay guys, we have pasted here. Just remove this file from here. So just say okay fine, and just close it. Okay fine. Now this is the code which we got from the Bootstrap. Okay, the guys they have wrote the Bootstrap stylings to get some stylings like this, right? Now this is called content, something like this. This is the CSS concept. You guys can see what is this before concept, right? This one, and this you will find in the MDN. So just go and explore it. It's very easy concept. Now instead of slash, let me say it has hash. Okay, now I'm going to save it, comes to the browser and just refresh it. Now see, now we have changed it. So like this you can customize the Bootstrap classes. Just if you wanted to find the what code they have wrote, just click control. See here you're getting the suggestion, control plus click, then you have to search the particular class. Now if you wanted to change a color, now you can change the color as well. Now you can use something like red. Now save it, come here and just refresh it. Now we got red color. Now this is how you guys can do some customization in the Bootstrap class. So this facility we have. So this is the concept of your breadcrumb. In the same way, now I wanted to create some list group. So for that, I'm going to create one more file known as 08, and this time let me say it has a list group. Okay, fine, .html. Okay, fine, we have created. So let me close it. Sorry, okay, I have closed list group. Let me close this one. Let me come here. Let me keep everything properly and open the list group.html. Now copy our skeleton. So I have copied it. It comes to your list group and just paste. So we have linked to the Bootstrap with our HTML file. Now this time let me say the title will be list group. Okay guys, we got the list group as this one. What is list group? Now just consider same way I'm going to take div. I'm saying so by shortcut, if you want a class as a container and the div, just say dot container and tab. Okay, fine. Now I wanted to give something like empty3. Okay, fine. So we gave empty3 is nothing but the margin top. I want top as a 3. Now here I wanted to create one UL. I have created the UL. In the same way, let me create some list. So this time, let me say it has DevOps. In the same way, let me list out some of the technologies that we have in the software. Now this time I'm going to say it has a cloud. So let me cloud technology, and here it would be something like React, and here Django. Okay, some of the technologies name we have listed. So you guys know what will be the output, right? Now this is the expected output. Now I wanted to make it as a list group. So for that we have a class called class equals to list group. Now this is going to group in a list. So I'm going to say list group, and now every item, every item in this particular list group is called list group item. So I'm going to say class equals to list group item. That's it, guys. Now just copy everything. Now this time let me say here as well, paste, paste, paste. Now we are learning what we are going to do. We are going to create a list, and we are going to create a group, and in that group every list is going to be rendered, and every item in the list we are going to say list group item. So why we are using the classes, just give by just we wanted to give some default colors or default styling instead of writing CSS. So by default we are going to get some stylings by the bootstrap. So or else if you won't use the bootstrap, then externally or explicitly you guys have to write the styling, and to write that styling you have to write number of properties, you have to think so much, right? So to overcome that things we are using the bootstrap. Now come here and just refresh it. Now see, now everything you got something like box, and each list item is represented in separate box. Now this is a group, this is outside is called list group, and each item in the list group is called list group item. Now I wanted to give some background color for each and every list item. So for that we have a class called list group item, and we will say something like primary. Now in the same way we have colors from primary, secondary, info, success, dark, danger. We have so many, right? We have 7 to 8 one. What we saw in earlier concepts, the same colors has been provided by here also. So just I'm gonna say it has info, this will be danger, and this time this will be something like dark. Apart from this, we have the success, we have secondary, we have the light color as well. So I'm going to just refresh. Now see, we got some kind of color. Now if you want this particular item should be in the center, just say here, or just say here, text should be white and text should be center. Now just refresh it and come here. Text white spelling we might wrote text white. Text white. I think text white is not working here. Let's see. Refresh. Text white is not working. So let me remove from here and keep here. Still it is not working. I think text white is not going to work. It should work. Okay, fine. We will see that later on. I think text white. Okay, fine. Now this is the concept of your list group. So what I'm gonna do now, suppose you wanted to provide some hover kind of thing. So I'm just gonna copy this thing, and for that we have a separate class called list group item action. Now this particular class is going to provide you hover kind of thing. So just copy this particular class and paste here. Come here, just refresh. Okay, we got something like this. Let me give something like here mt2. Fine. Now we got, see, now we are getting hover kind of thing, but here we didn't get any hover, but here we are getting the hover kind of thing. Now if I copy the same thing and paste here, and this time let me remove these things, primary info, let me remove this as well. Save, and let me give something here also, empty3. Save it, come here and just refresh it. Now this is the three things we saw, right? Now this is without background, this is background, this is background plus hover. This kind of concepts we have in the this particular thing, and we have some more concepts. Now just consider, now I wanted to give something more, right? Now let me come here and just paste few things. So this time let me copy this thing. Okay, now let me copy and let me give here. Okay, fine. Now let me give something like here, empty-3, here also empty-3, right? Now I want this particular items not in the vertical. Now this is in the vertical, right? After one, I want it in the horizontal. So for that we have a class called list group horizontal. Just save it, come here and just refresh it. Now you are able to see you got horizontal. Now the same colors you can apply. So the background color will come and something like that, right? So this is the thing we can do. Now if you want to copy something like this, let me copy hover one. And let me paste it here. And this time let me say it as list group horizontal. That's it, guys. Now if you refresh, now you got something like this. Now you got hover, background, all that things. Now this is without background color and hover thing. Now this how you can represent something using the list group and the list group item, list group horizontal, that classes you have. So still if you wanted to explore, just go to the get bootstrap and see, you will find many more classes, many more. So I'm just saying the few classes so that you guys can understand the concept. Apart from that, you have to go to the website and you have to explore yourself. That's the main thing, right guys? So according to the requirement you have to do. Now this is all about our list group. Now let's come and understand one more concept, forms concept. So I'm going to say it has a 09 forms.html. Okay, fine. Now in the same way I required the skeleton, so just I'm going to copy the skeleton. So in the form groups we already saw list group item, action, primary to danger, horizontal. Now in the forms, let us see some of the classes in the forms as well. So I want skeleton, so I'm going to copy the skeleton, come here and just paste here the skeleton. Now I wanted to create a form. So what I'm going to do, I will be taking a container first, tab. Now in this container, let me take something like empty3. Now in this container, I want to say, I want to take the space that should be dot call md, and it should be something like 6. We can say 6 or else let it be. Now let me take one div and give me a class equals to something like bg danger, some kind of class. Okay, fine. Now in this class I want to take a form. So I wanted to create a form, so everything should be in the form. Already we saw this form concept in the HTML. Now here I'm creating one div, and this time I'm saying class equals to form group. So form group is a class which is going to provide by your Bootstrap. Now in this form group, I wanted to take one input, and I'm going to say type equals to text. In the same way, I wanted to say class equals to form control. This is the one more class which is given by the Bootstrap. Okay, now here we are going to learn one new attribute called placeholder. Now what is this placeholder? Let me say you. It will nothing but in the text box it will appear like enter the text, all that kind. Enter user name, something like that. So let me come here and just see. Okay, fine. Now save it. Now come to the browser and see how it is going to look like. Now it is looking something like this, right guys? In the same way, I wanted to create many more things. So I will be creating copy. This time, same thing, same thing. This time here, I'm going to say enter email. And this time type will be email. And here type will be password. And I'm going to say enter password. And let me create as a registration form. So here I'm going to say something like h3, and let me say registration form, something like that guys. And class equals to bg danger. Let me change it to bg primary. I'm going to save it, come here and just refresh. Now we got something like this, right? Now it is not looking that great, right? So let me give some padding. So padding 3, save it, come here and just refresh. Yeah, now this padding is not applying, right? This class is not applying. Div class equals to bg primary, background primary, and this time let me say something like padding will be something like 3. Yeah, now let me come and see here. Now we got something like this, but I need this registration form inside this one. So I'm going to cut from here, copy and cut and paste here. Now we got registration form here. I want this should be in the center. So I'm going to say text center, and text should be something like white. Now we got text white and text in the center. Now why we used a placeholder concept? Why? See, this is the placeholder. Now here we are able to see something like enter username, enter email, enter password. This is because of your placeholder attribute. So this is the one new concept you have learned here. That is a placeholder, which I thought to tell in the HTML, but I thought let's tell that particular concept where it will be necessary. So I thought it would be good to tell here. So just I have told. Now I wanted to create much more things, but before that I wanted to override this bg primary. So I'm going to say style, inside a style tag dot bg primary. This time let me give some kind of background. So I will say background linear gradient 45-degree, comma black, comma red, some kind of color. Now if I refresh it, now this is looking good, right guys? Yeah, now I don't want this much big length, right? Now I wanted to reduce it. So what I can do now here, let me try something like call md6 and just refresh it. Now we got this particular form, registration form, right? Now if we say something like text center, in this div it should be in the center. Okay, not text center, it should be something I'm like auto copy. Okay, this will not work because we have used column 1, call md6. So fine, let me take it as a 8. No, let me take it as 5. Yeah, fine. Now this is fine. Now this is a registration form. Enter username, enter email, enter password. Then you have to confirm password, something like that. So I'm going to copy this thing and say confirm password this time. So instead of enter, let me say it as a confirm password. Now we need one more thing, like we need a drop down button. So just copy here. This time instead of telling form group, let me tell it as a form check. Okay guys, now here I'm gonna say, just remove this one here, select class equals to form check. Let me see the class name. It has a form check label input inline. Okay, so let me come here. So okay, for select option it would be form group only, and this will be something like form control, and just remove. Okay, fine. Now here I wanted to provide something like options. So option like select something like designation. Okay, the first option will be select designation, copy, and we have to paste. And here this time it will be something like DevOps engineer, and it will be something like software developer. And this time let me give it as a cloud engineer, and one more is like data scientist. Okay, now these are the designation. Now come here and just see how it is going to look like. Now this is the enter username, enter email, password, confirm password, select designation. This is we got the drop down button kind of thing. So if I select something like data scientist, it will be data scientist. Now I want a radio button, right? Now we wanted to create one radio button. So to create radio button, we have a div. Now this time class equals to, I'm going to take something like form check, right? Now in this, I want to take one input label. So I will be saying label. We have a class called form check label, form hyphen check hyphen label. So this time before label, let me take input type equals to radio, and the name will be gender, and we know a class equals to, this time the class will be form check input, right guys? Now that's it. Now this time the label should be male. In the same way, let me copy these two things and paste here, and here this time let me say it has a female. Now if you copy and just see here, now we got male and female. It is like overriding, right? So what I'm gonna do, I wanted to give some space. So I will be saying here after this label and NBSP. Now let me copy this NBSP. Let me give 2 more. Come here and just refresh. Still we required. Okay, it's female. Now we got here. Now here I wanted to give one more label. So just copy this particular label. And here just we are going to paste, and this time I will saying something like gender or select gender. Come here and just refresh. Now something like select gender. Now we got. Now here I want a button. So we require a button. That's very simple. So let me say div okay, now let me take button, or we can take same way, div class equals to form control, sorry, form group, and here let me take a input type equals to button or submit, anything you can take. Now value should be register and the class should be form control. That's it, guys. Now if you want to use Bootstrap buttons, so we can use, let's see how it is going to look first. Now we got registration button, right? Now if you want to make it as a little bit Bootstrap, btn something like info. Now save it. Now we got something like this. So let me remove these things. Yeah. Now let me override this btn info as well. So I'm gonna say simply override dot btn info. So just copy this thing, and here let me say it as something like orange, red, and this one something like green. Come here, just refresh. Now we got some kind of color, or else we can say it has blue. Now we got some kind of button. So you can do, let me take black. Now this is your registration form. Now still if you wanted to give some text area, you can give your text area and you can mention an address. So you can design like whatever you want. So just I wanted to cover few of the concepts. Now let us see few attributes. Now just suppose this is the email, right? Now you want to disable this email. Now user can enter some kind of email, right guys? Some kind of email. I can enter something like email or something, some kind of email I can enter, ismart@gmail.com. Some kind of email I'm able to enter, but I want the user should not enter anything here. It should be disabled. So for that we have a property called disable property. So let me come here, or else let me show that disable property inside a button. So input type equals to button, right? Now you wanted to make by default that button should be disabled. So just you have to use the attribute called disabled. That's it. Now save it, come here. Now this is the button, guys, where we can do something. Now if I refresh, now button has disabled. Now if you are not able to see here, so let me keep it into the some kind of text, like text is email. So let me keep here disabled. Now if you refresh, now you cannot enter anything because it is disabled. Now I'm trying to enter, but I'm not able to enter because this particular field has been disabled. Even we have one more thing, like you don't want the user should enter something, so we have something like read only. So you guys just try read only. So here we have a disabled, we have a read only as well. So we already saw what is form check inline, form check input, form check label, control group, list group item, all that thing. So these are the few concepts in the Bootstrap. So we have the next session will be our last session in the Bootstrap, where I'm going to cover few of the concepts. Okay, once we have done with that, then we are going to go with our projects. So we are going to create completely 3 projects on the Bootstrap. So let's do that. So next session will be tomorrow. So anyhow, this session should be yesterday, but due to some work, I couldn't take the session. So the next session will be tomorrow only. Okay. So tomorrow at the same time. Thank you guys for watching my video.